Welcome back for another episode of Errant Adventures, the solo actual play podcast where stories are told at the speed of dice. With me, Steve Morrison, your game master and solo player. Now come on, let's grab the dice and see where our story goes. Welcome back for another episode of Errant Adventures. Yet again, I am here not as a solo player, but as a co-op player. And today's guest is a member of what I can honestly say is my favorite D&D podcast out there.
Oh, that's nice.
Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and as mentioned, I am on the Reckless Attack podcast, and I play Selv Asterlin, the Dragonborn monk.
Hell yeah.
Normally. Not today.
Not today. And also, let it be noted, we've got two Steves here. The power of Steve is strong today.
Yes, it is squared today.
It is squared today. So, Steve, before we jump in, I just want to ask, what's your take on pirates and that kind of jazz? Do you have a favorite pirate media? What do you think about pirates?
Favorite pirate media? I will say that I am in favor of the romanticized version of pirates, not the actual historical version of pirates.
Indeed.
But I will say there is a series of books that I had read a little while ago, and it was the series that begins with The Lies of Loch Lamora, if you're familiar with that. So there is, I believe, the third book in there takes place with them as essentially pirates out to sea. And so that is what I'm going to be channeling while playing this.
That is awesome. I am here for it. I have only read the first of the Lies of Loch Lamora books, which I don't know why I haven't continued on with them because I absolutely enjoyed that first book.
Yeah, I am eagerly awaiting book number 4, which has not come out yet. And because the third one is like, it's like, here's a giant cliffhanger.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
The next thing I'll ask you is, and I know the answer to this, but do you have any experience with Ironsworn? Is this game familiar to you at all?
This is going to be my first time playing, so I'm always up for trying out new games. I have a vast array, actually, of games that I would say 75% of I have not actually played yet.
I feel that in my bones.
Yes, and although I will say it's kind of cool to use other games as reference material for whatever game you happen to be running.
I agree.
Because there's all this work that people have done with either world building or some kind of new or interesting mechanics, and it's always kind of nice to bring that into whatever game you're playing so it's not always the same kind of monotonous type thing.
Absolutely. And my listeners know that I'm currently running a Traveler campaign as my kind of main solo campaign, but I use the oracles from Ironsworn quite extensively in that because, for one, I love them dearly, but also they really do make for good fodder for imagination in a sci-fi universe. All right, well, let's not dally any longer and let's jump in.
We're jumping right in. Okay.
Jumping right in. So with Ironsworn, one of the conceits of this game is that at the beginning of your game, you pick truths for your world. And this kind of helps to define what your world looks like. What we're going to do here today is I'm going to have you pick one of these truths, and we're going to use that as the starting place for our adventure here today. But before we get to that, I'm going to go through the ones that have already been chosen. So we have done horrors, we've done beasts, and we've done piracy. So those 3 have already been taken up, but we do have the Sundering available, and this is the idea of some cataclysmic event occurred in the past. And we could decide today what that cataclysmic event was. There are also relics. We could talk about the different relics that there are in this world. We could talk about what the modern era looks like. We can talk about iron vows, which I mentioned to you that iron vows are very important in Ironsworn. And so we could kind of determine what that looks like when an Ironsworn swears an iron vow. We can also look at navigation, empires, religion, magic, and that is it. What do you think about those, Steve?
Ooh. So there's two that jumped out to me right away.
Okay.
The first one, I saw magic, and it was just like, bam, right there. Okay,
Yep.
Fantastic. The other one I really like is Sundering.
Okay. You kind of gave me a little clue of what you were thinking about for your character. And so I feel like magic could be the way to go, but also we don't necessarily have to limit ourselves to that. So if one is speaking to you more than the other, let's do it. Otherwise, we could roll a d6 and, 1, 2, 3 is the Sundering, 4, 5, 6 is magic. It's up to you.
I think I'm going to go with magic.
So with magic, there are a couple of different options. So magic does not exist.
That could be interesting for a sorcerer then.
Indeed. Magic is rare and mysterious. Magic is an ever-present elemental force. Each of these has a range on a percentile associated with it. So if you want, we can roll on that percentile and see what happens, or you can just pick one of those three.
There is a campaign that I've been in for D&D that we've actually been playing together for 25 years, a little over 25 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it actually takes place in a very magic is rare and mysterious type of area. So I do like that. So let's go with magic is rare and mysterious.
Awesome. So with that comes a little bit of flavor text. It says, "The Isles lie at the nexus of the new and the old, science and superstition, the known and the inexplicable. This collision of realities is a powerful but chaotic force, and rare folk can manipulate these unstable realities to cast spells and perform rites. In some cultures, mystics are respected. In others, they are feared or even outcast." And, we can kind of play with that. That's sort of the starting point, but those ideas are malleable as we go forward.
Okay.
There is this quest starter that goes along with it. And this is where we're going to start our adventure. So I'm going to read this off, and then we can talk a little bit about what your character looks like. So the quest starter is: a powerful but outcast sorcerer lives alone on a faraway island. Why do you have urgent need of their abilities? What enemy or rival is on the hunt for this person?
And is this where I fill in those blanks, or is that just a mystery that we will discover later together?
I think that we can definitely start filling in those blanks, but I don't know if you want to build out your character first before we start defining, why we need to find this person.
Yeah. Let's do the character first, because then that will give my brain time to marinate in the possibilities.
Excellent. So I sent you beforehand that list of personas. What are you thinking about for your character?
So the first one that jumped out was, I was looking at the paths, and sorcerer jumped right out, like right there. And actually, I was kind of looking at guild mage to start.
Ooh, interesting. So you're looking at sorcerer and bannersworn. Those are the two assets that are connected to guild mage. And I really like this idea because so far, like, my character is a sorcerer. My character, Caspian Silver, captain of the Kiss of Death, a pirate sloop that, sails these Sundered Isles. So my character is a sorcerer, but he's been very solitary in his sorcery. Like, he's not a part of an institution. But with this idea of guild mage, I think there's the possibility for us to kind of create a faction surrounding that magic.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. And that might tie into why we need to find this lone sorcerer. So as you're thinking about that a little bit, the sorcerer asset gives you some bonuses when you are trying to create a minor mystical effect. And everyone who's listened to these episodes so far knows that I have very much bent the spirit, I think, of minor mystical effect. And that I'm like, yeah, sure, I can totally fight a ghost ship's death aura with my little minor mystical effects. So it is very flexible in that way that we can make of it what we want. But with the Bannersworn, it also says you are bound to a clan, faction, or creed. When you swear an iron vow, which is one of our moves, in service to this ideology, you can re-roll any of the dice. On a hit, mark 1 tick on your bond's legacy track, which won't really come into effect in our campaign here, but that basically, when you fill up boxes on your legacy tracks, that's how you gain XP, and that's how you can unlock these other abilities on your assets.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we've got a Bannersworn, Sorcerer, and do you want to kind of create that faction now? Or do you want to kind of continue to flesh out your character a little bit more, and then we can circle back to the faction?
That's a good question. Yeah, let's do the character, and then we can come back and because then based on kind of what the character looks like, maybe the faction will jump out.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's throw some stats in here. The stats are edge, heart, iron, shadow, and wits, and you've got 1 3, 2 2s, and 2 1s to put into this. And I think something that I really want to emphasize here is I don't think any individual stat is associated with magic. So I think it really kind of depends on the flavor of your magic.
Then let's go with... So the 3 that jumps out with me, at least because when I think about magic, is wits. But I think I'm going to go a slightly different direction. And edge was...
kind of like dexterity, fluidness of motion, that kind of thing.
Okay. I think I want to put the 3 in edge. And I'm thinking that because maybe the type of spell casting that this person does is actually more movement based. And instead of like maybe a particular chant, it's more of like a particular move to unlock the power.
I love it.
Like a sweeping thing, or almost like a dance to unlock that type of thing. I still think it needs to be kind of smart, and so let's put one of the 2s in wits.
I like it.
And I think let's put the other 2 in shadow, just because it sounds interesting.
Yeah. Shadow can be stealthiness, it can be deception, but I also feel like it can be cunning. Like it doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation to it. Okay.
Yeah. I like that. And I think the 1 in heart, I mean, he's a bureaucratic mage. I mean, there's no getting around that.
Yep.
So I think that'll play kind of cool in there.
Awesome. Do you have a vision for what this character looks like? And there are, this is an important thing that I should tell you. There are tables in Ironsworn for everything. So if you would like to roll on some tables to roll up a description, all of those things, we can totally do that.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what's on the table for the description.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a D100 roll.
All right. 86.
86 is uniformed. It's kind of a first look. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah,
so
it does. It does. Yeah. So some kind of guild uniform, or a something that makes him look like almost every other guild mage, or maybe even guild member. Maybe it's all, they all have like a V cut into their hair, or or whatever it happens to be. But yeah, I like that.
Cool. Give me another roll, and we'll pick out a trademark accessory for you.
All right. That is a 77.
77. Out of tune squeeze box.
Oh, I'll have fun with that.
Okay. And then
that has distraction written all over it.
Yes, indeed. how deep into this character like description and stuff do you want to go?
Just kind of like uniformed, everything tucked in, tight, tidy, that type of thing, to the point where maybe he's almost the rest of him is nondescript. Aside from you see the uniform and you see you kind of know what he's all about.
And then, do you have an idea for a name, or would you like to roll on a name table?
I enjoy alliterations when it comes to names most Excellent. Of the time. But I was thinking Sarek Sandrian.
Sarek Sandrian. Now, my character has a moniker, Powder Keg. Does your character have a moniker?
I want to say yes, but I have no idea what it is. So is there a table for that?
There absolutely is.
That is great. I would love to be able to roll on that table.
Please do.
48.
All right. So 48 is overboard.
Because that brings up a whole bunch of stuff that could have happened in previously. Yes.
Yes. And the alternative would be to switch those numbers around and do 84, which would be Stingray.
Oh no, I like overboard.
Overboard? All right.
Yeah. Because you don't know for sure if it's him that went overboard or if he was putting other people overboard.
Yeah, I love it.
Or if he's just too over the top and goes overboard.
He goes overboard. I think we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and just like sketch out this faction real quick.
Okay.
So that we can get a sense for what it is. So we know it's a magical guild of some sort. And I have all sorts of tables for factions, or we can, if you've got ideas for those things, we can just go for it.
Yeah. I like to see what the dice say. So
right.
let's take a look at some of these tables and get a good random faction.
Perfect.
23.
23. So we're going to do organization methods. Idolizes a long dead founder.
Okay.
Or is that founder dead?
Well, a believed to be long dead founder.
Maybe we have discovered rumors of where that long dead founder may have retired to. Give me another one for the organization's secrets.
Okay. That would be 68.
Relies on bribes to corrupt officials.
Why do something magically if you don't have to?
Exactly. Let's go ahead and roll up a name for this faction. So give me two rolls.
First one is a 23.
Okay.
And the second one, is a 98.
Oh. How does the Gleaming Witches strike you?
It sounds like a guild that has a lot of money that would then bribe corrupt officials.
And I wonder if they go by the Gleaming.
Yeah, they could, and actually that could be part of the uniform. Maybe there is something magically shiny about the uniform.
Okay, we've created Sarek. We defined a little bit this faction that he belongs to. So let's go back to our quest starter and let's get started on our adventure.
Sounds good.
So, a powerful but outcast sorcerer lives alone on a faraway island. Why do you have urgent need of their abilities? I think the first question we should answer is, how did we come to know each other? So Caspian is the captain of a pirate sloop, but he is a sorcerer. So he definitely has this magical ability. Is Sarek somebody who has been traveling with the crew for a while, or is it the sort of thing where maybe Sarek sought him out for this particular mission, or did they know each other previously? What do you think?
So I'm thinking they might have had minor contact previously, but maybe Sarek sought out Caspian because he is known for maybe sailing in that area anyway and knows the waters.
Yes. That's how we came together. So we met up somewhere, and you have taken on Caspian's services as a guide, really, to reach this island. What is the urgent need for finding this sorcerer?
So I'm thinking maybe that this sorcerer has some kind of specialty, and maybe either the magic is slowly ebbing away, or maybe it is becoming more prevalent. Like there's some kind of leak somewhere almost that either is draining the magic away or is adding to it in our particular world. And so we need to get a hold of this sorcerer to kind of find out where that leak is and how to stop it.
Okay, I like this. So we're seeking him out, or her. I mean, we could
Sure.
decide on the gender of this character.
I'm getting kind of the impression it's a woman.
That feels right. I mean, we've got a couple of dudes. We need somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
To fix things. Okay. So we know that we're seeking her out because she has some ability or specialty that is going to help us figure out what is happening to magic in our world. What enemy or rival is also on the hunt for this person?
So I'm thinking it's going to be somebody that wants to exacerbate the leak, right? Whether it is to drain the world of magic or to increase the amount of magic in the world. They want to find her, to track that down, and then figure out how to make it, in my opinion, make it worse, but I guess in their opinion, make it better.
I'm just rolling up this character, and the dice are just giving right now. So we've got Rodrigo Takara, by some called Vixen, who is powerful, critical, tattooed, and attractive.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, their role is combatant, which doesn't necessarily lean one way or the other to me when it comes to magic. Like, they could be a magical combatant. Are they also part of the Gleaming?
Ooh.
Or are they part of a different faction? And I will tell you, there are factions that we have put into the world already. There is a group called the Regency, and they are a military empire that is powerful in this region, but it used to be more powerful. And then there's also the Dread Court, which is this pirate nation that is ruled by 8 veteran pirate lords. Caspian would absolutely love to become one of those 8 veteran pirate lords someday, but he is not there yet. And then there's also the Forsworn Consort, which are this organization of healers, but they kind of went sour at some point and have been, or I should say were, sustaining themselves on this undead creature, which is now no more. And so what happened to them after that, we don't know. Those factions are already in the world, but we can also, just quickly name a different faction if we want.
Okay. I'm thinking it's a faction that is more technology based. Something where they are trying to, essentially become a superpower. But in order to do that, maybe they have to get rid of the magic, and then they will fill that void with technology.
I like it. Let's just roll up a name for them, because I feel like we don't need to belabor that.
Okay.
We'll do one roll on the craft table for faction themes and another one on discovery. We'll do the discovery and the craft. So why don't you roll one and I'll roll the other?
Okay. So I've got a 36.
36. How about the Awakened Hammers?
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a faction that builds stuff.
Yep. And I think Rodrigo definitely carries a hammer.
Oh, absolutely.
That is his.
And I'm also thinking
choice.
that on on the head of the hammer is just a big eye.
Oh, I love it. We've got all of this detail now. So let's go ahead and start our vow. I don't think that we should make our vow trying to solve this magical leak. I think it should be to find them before Rodrigo does. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Find the sorceress before Rodrigo does. When we're starting a vow, it has a progress track, and a progress track is a 10-box way of measuring how the quest is going. And we determine how we fill in those boxes by the rank. So there are 5 ranks, but really only 3 of them, I think, are on the table for us today. So that's troublesome, dangerous, or formidable. And if you think of this as a 10-box progress track, if it's a troublesome rank, then anytime you make any forward progress on your quest, you're going to fill in 3 of those boxes. So you can move through a quest pretty quickly. If it's dangerous, you fill in 2 of those boxes. If it's formidable, you only fill in 1 box at a time for each progress.
Okay.
We're in this like in between of dangerous and formidable. So I think maybe the question is, what is more important to you in this moment? Is it the journey to get to this sorceress, or is it finding the sorceress and then, figuring out what happens after that?
So I think it's for right now, it's tracking down the sorceress.
Okay. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards formidable, but if we do that, we're going to have to make some progress on this.
All right, let's do it.
But I think we can do it.
Yep.
So we're going to create that track, and then I am going to have you swear the iron vow because I think it makes sense. This is your mission. And also it's a great way to roll some dice and get into using the system.
Okay.
The last thing that I'll ask before we get to that is, are you swearing this vow to someone in your organization, or is this something that you're kind of like, you're doing this for yourself? Like you're swearing on iron, but you're kind of the instigator of this vow.
So the kind of what I'm feeling is kind of the fact that maybe the gleaming witches aren't 100% convinced that this thing is actually happening. And so I'm thinking that Sarek is kind of taking this upon himself to be like, no, look, this is happening. You can feel it. We need to go talk to somebody who can help us figure out where this leak is. So I think this is something that Sarek's going to swear this vow himself, and not necessarily to somebody at the guild.
Awesome. Let's get into it. You're going to roll your D6 and your 2D10s, and you're going to roll plus your heart, which is a 1, which is not great. But I think because you have this Bannersworn asset, you can re-roll any of the dice. So take it away, Steve. Swear this iron vow.
Here we go. Not so good. Okay. So I got a 4 on the 6-sided, and then the 2 10-sideds are 8 and 4.
And is the 4 including your +1 from heart?
Oh, I'm sorry. That makes it a 5.
Okay.
That makes it a 5.
Cool. So right now you've got a weak hit because you've got the 5 beats the 4, but not the other challenge die. But because of that asset, you can re-roll that other die and see if you get 4 or lower.
All right. I will definitely do that. Came up a 10.
Okay. That's all right. That's all right. So it's a weak hit. So what this means is we are determined, but we begin our quest with more questions than answers. So you are going to take +1 momentum. And this is an important note. When I roll or when you roll, typically whoever rolls the dice is the one who takes the benefits So like in this instance, you're going to take +1 momentum. So you go from 2 to 3. I won't gain any momentum from this.
Okay.
There is a way to assist your ally where you can essentially roll to kind of help set them up, and then you give them the benefits of the roll if you get a success. So just keep that in mind as an option. But we start here with more questions than answers. So let's set the scene. I think we are approaching this island after several weeks of sailing. I think in this time, Caspian and Sarek have, maybe been comparing notes about what has been going on with magic, because maybe Caspian, who is traveling around quite a bit, is on the edges starting to see some of these effects as well.
Or maybe there's places he is where it's more noticeable than other places.
Yes. So we're approaching this island, and we have this inkling that this sorceress is hidden somewhere on this island, but we don't know exactly where. And I think as we're approaching, I think that we see another ship approaching the island further away, like far enough away that we're not kind of in range to tangle, but there is this other ship that is out there, and it's also sailing towards this island. And I think Caspian, kind of standing on the deck, turns to Sarek and says, I wonder if we're not in some sort of race against someone else who is seeking out this sorceress.
Can you make out what kind of flag they're flying?
That's a great question. I'm going to gather some information.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so he pulls up the spyglass and is going to look through it, and I'm going to roll plus my wits, which is +2. Ooh, this is a huge turnabout from my last session.
Oh.
So I've got an 8 on the action score, a 2 and a 1 on the challenge dice for a strong hit.
Wow.
Which is fantastic. So discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn and then take +2 momentum. So I am going to go up from 2 to 4. And I think we learn 2 things. I think that looking at the flag, it is obviously the flag of the Awakened Hammers. And I think Caspian says that of like, the Hammers have sent an expedition, it looks like. Curious. I'm not used to seeing them this far out.
Well, it just means they're determined.
Indeed. So that's the first thing we learn. The second thing we learn, I think we're going to figure that out. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to roll on my favorite table, which is action and theme. So these are basically 2 words, a noun and an adjective that you can put together, and it helps with brainstorming. So I'm going to have you roll a D100 and I will roll a D100, and we'll put those together and see what insight we glean from this moment.
69.
Nice. Okay, so it is attack prophecy. That's the prompt. So this is some information that we learn, that we glean in this moment from seeing the Awakened Hammers here, and it relates to attack prophecy. Is anything jumping out at you kind of right off the bat?
Well, the prophecy has kind of jumped out right there.
Yeah.
So maybe it's some kind of sign, like a good luck sign that at least the superstitious sailors maybe they see a pod of dolphins playing, or it's something that indicates good fortune. But maybe it's combined with something else. So like dolphins and Orca or something, where it's like they're playing, they're far enough apart that it's good, but it could turn at any moment.
I like that. And maybe in addition to that, there's a shift in the wind, and a kind of a fresh breeze fills the sails on the Kiss of Death, and we are propelled towards this island as though the gods themselves are
pushing us along.
Yes.
I like it.
With that, I think we can mark our first box of progress, because we've learned who these rivals are that are arriving, and we have been given this benefit of being pushed forward, and so we're, in a sense, we're kind of ahead of the chase. So I'm going to go ahead.
So we're going to stop. We're going to stop there and retire as champion.
Exactly. Yep. That's it.
Okay.
We did
we're
it.
done. We're done. We did it.
Yep. We're sailing forward towards this bay, this kind of partially enclosed bay. Steve, can you set the scene for us of what we find as we weigh anchor, and you and I row ashore, probably with some of the crew, but you and I row ashore.
Sure. So I'm imagining that the bay itself, once you get into it, is relatively calm, but it takes a lot of Caspian skill as to pilot the boat, or to call out orders to avoid maybe some of the reefs or some other stuff that's kind of just below the water that you can't see right away. But he's able to get into the bay, and it is almost pristine. It's very clear water. You can see down to the bottom, to the point where you can't quite tell how deep it is, because you can see all the way down, and it's even though there's waves kind of crashing just a little bit further out, it is strangely glassy calm inside this bay. And we lower the rowboat down, and I'm guessing you call out for some volunteers to go to the island along with us, and we climb into the boat. It's lowered down into the water, and just kind of begin rowing with a slight breeze blowing against our back to kind of give us that little push along.
Yeah. And I think as Caspian is departing the ship, he kind of turns to his bosun, Gully, and says, "Mind the ship and watch out for those hammers. Make sure they don't come around behind us." And he'll get into the boat, and we carry on towards the shore.
And hide the ship if you can. If you can. Like, I don't know exactly how that works, but hide the ship if you can.
I think Gully nods and sagely, and kind of turns to start commanding the crew to bring the sails so that they can be ready to move, and to find a little nook to tuck into. So we land on the beach, and we pull the boat up onto shore, and there I think the sand is really fine, and like it almost shimmers a little bit as we start to walk in, and as often happens, I think there's a forest kind of, or like a jungle.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Like right there.
And actually, I would like to try something, if it's okay.
Please.
This minor magics that we can do. So Sarek will turn and say, maybe we should, kind of cover our tracks a little bit. So it doesn't. They won't. If they do get ashore, they won't see exactly where we went.
A fine idea, my friend. All right, so go ahead and roll. This is going to be a secure and advantage. And you're going to roll plus spirit, which is +5 for your sorcerer, because you're actually using your health represents your physical health. Your spirit represents your spiritual health. So currently you are full of life and goodwill. I don't know. So roll +5, which is pretty good.
Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay. So that is a 10, and the 10-sideds are 6 and 3.
Oh, gotta love a strong hit. So you're going to take +1 momentum from the asset, and so that takes you up to 4. And then because you got a strong hit, you get to take +2 momentum, and you get to add +1 on your next move. So you're already up to 6 momentum, which is fantastic. And you've got that +1 to your next move. So I think what that's telling me is, well, actually, I'm going to turn it over to you. What does this look like for Sarek casting this magic to create this kind of disguising of our passage? And then how do we parlay that into moving into the forest and kind of finding our way on our journey here?
So Sarek kind of begins almost like some movement that almost looks like it kind of pushes and pulls the sand, and the sand on the beach begins to smooth over, but still take on more of a natural look, so it doesn't look like somebody actually smoothed it over.
Yeah.
And as he's doing that, he kind of also kind of turns around and is kind of following. He's last in line and kind of sweeping back and forth and smoothing out the sand as he goes. But then in doing so, kind of uncovers a little bit of rope, and maybe that rope then, as the sand kind of drifts off of it a little bit, as he's moving it around, the rope is actually attached to a piece of wood that was probably a boat at one time. So maybe it's completely weathered, but it does indicate that somebody has landed on this island in the past and stayed here, and at this spot. So it kind of gives us a direction to go to continue into the forest.
Yeah. How do you feel about rolling your own gather information as you're pulling that out to see if you glean any more information off of it that might help us on our journey here?
Oh, sure. So is that wits?
That is plus wits. Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. 8 on the die with a 4 and a 1.
Awesome.
On the 10-sided. So
if there's anything I've learned about Ironsworn is that when you're rolling well, just wait.
Yeah. I know. It's just a matter of time.
Yep. But we'll take it because you're going to take 2 more momentum, and the path that we must follow is made clear. So what do you think about this rope tied to this wood that kind of makes our path forward clear to us? Are there symbols kind of etched into the wood that looks familiar, or does it like mystically feel like it's pulling in a certain direction? Like what's going on here that kind of helps us to pick a compass direction and go?
So I'm thinking it's almost like a treasure map of sorts. So when we pick up this plank of wood, maybe it's like a couple feet long and maybe 8 inches wide or so. But somebody has actually scratched on it an outline of the island, or what looks like an outline of the island.
Yeah.
And noted with maybe like some gouge marks or something, maybe a couple different locations around the island that might be important.
I love that. And I think that helps us because, first of all, we're going to mark another box of progress because we have gleaned something new. And the other great thing about Ironsworn is it really is kind of self-paced. And so we're on the clock here, so we can kind of like move things along a little bit by taking progress. But also, if you were playing this by yourself or in a co-op game without an end time to kind of hit, you could spend a couple of sessions kind of fleshing out some of this stuff to get a progress to move forward. So we are at 2 out of 10 boxes of progress on our quest, and I think we should undertake an expedition, which is going to be another track, but I think it's going to be explore the island. And I'm just going to say that this is troublesome because we have this map and we have these like locations that we know, or at least we think we know, we need to check out in order to find this sorceress.
Sounds good.
When we are undertaking an expedition, you find the way across hazardous terrain or explore a mysterious site, give the expedition a name and rank, then for each segment of the expedition, envision your approach. If you move at speed, roll plus edge, keep a low profile, roll plus shadow, stay vigilant, roll plus wits. What do you think we're doing here? Are we moving with speed? Are we moving, keeping a low profile? Or are we staying vigilant?
I think because we have that other ship out there and we know that it is coming to the island, we need to get moving.
I agree. And I'm going to let you roll because you're holding the map. Oh. So give us a roll plus edge.
All right, roll plus edge. Oh, okay. So I got a 2 plus a 3 is 5, and a 2 and the 4 on the 10-sided.
Amazing. So on a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. Envision the location and mark progress. So because this is troublesome, we're going to mark 3 boxes of progress. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to do a quick D100 roll. That's a 13. And I think we're in the reaches, which is the remote seas, because like we're way out there.
Yeah, this person was not looking to be found easily.
Exactly. So the results: feature of the landscape, a region landmark. So we've got jungle. 36 is... Okay, so we come across a glade filled with vibrant butterflies. So I think we're like hacking our way through the jungle, kind of trying to move as quickly as possible. And then we come upon one of those locations that's marked on this map. And it is this idyllic glade in the center of this jungle. And, maybe there's a small, creek kind of running through it, and these flowers, this like field of flowers, and these just absolutely gorgeous butterflies are flitting around. And I think as we kind of stumble out into this, Caspian like holds up a hand to stop his crew from kind of like trampling forward over the flowers. And he turns to you and says, "This place feels beautiful," which is a strange thing to say.
It does. Just, not sure what to make of it. It's, idyllic.
Yes. I wonder if there are any signs of this sorceress here. There is a move that we can do here, which is explore a waypoint. So when you divert from an expedition to examine a notable location, roll plus wits. So I am going to roll plus my wits of 2 and see what happens. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're back.
Oh, okay.
So it's 4 on my action score and 2 6s on the challenge dice, which is a miss with a match. And it very specifically says here, on a miss with a match, you may instead confront chaos instead of pay the price.
Is that any match? So does it have to be the two 10-sideds that match?
It is the two challenge dice. Yes.
Gotcha.
When the two challenge dice match, then something terrible happens. And since
I was literally just thinking to myself, oh, this is a trap. And then the second thing I was thinking was, I know there's one enormous butterfly somewhere.
Yep. Okay. So I have never done this before, which is really exciting. So when your exploration of a waypoint uncovers something dreadful, decide the number of aspects, 1, 2, or 3. Roll that number of times or choose that number of aspects on the table below. Then envision how the encounter begins. For each result, when you first confront that aspect within the scope of the encounter, you and your allies may mark 1 tick on your Discovery's legacy track. Well, that's cool. Okay, so do we think there's 1, 2, or 3 aspects to whatever this is? I'm kind of leaning towards 2, so we can both roll on it, but I'm open either way.
No, that sounds good. That sounds good. Right. Let's do that.
So I'm going to roll my percentile, and you can roll yours.
Okay. Oh, I have a 77.
Another match. Wonderful.
Is that bad?
So oftentimes when you are rolling matches on Oracle's charts, you can introduce a complication or an opportunity. I think since we're already dealing with a match from a miss, that we'll just
use that.
We'll just we'll just wrap it into this. So with 77, this is actually really funny because with 77, that's sight of a baffling disappearance. And then I also rolled 2 matches. A matching pair, which is 99, which is a wrathful spirit or apparition. So I think we do see this large eagle-sized butterfly. Wings flap up and it begins to flitter up from the ground. And I think for a moment, we're all kind of transfixed by this. And then
Mothra? Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a new one. And then it vanishes.
Oh, that's also a new one.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yes.
And then I think all of those vibrant butterflies, they begin to kind of like coalesce into some sort of ethereal shape. And I think it just kind of like shrieks at us in some sort of weird insectoid way. And what are we doing here?
Actually, Sarek's going to take a step forward and put his hands up and just say, I know we're not supposed to be here. We can just gather our things and leave. There's no need to, yell or scream or attack or hurt us with the ouching right now. We're just gonna turn and go. You okay with that? And then he'll kind of whisper back behind him a little bit to the others and just say, "Run!"
Are you making a genuine attempt to try and persuade?
It was more of a
distraction.
A distraction, or it was more of a distraction, so that just to see if it would pause at all.
Okay, so then in that case, roll secure an advantage, and you can. I feel like you could probably roll with stealth with shadow, because you're kind of like it feels a little bit like trickery. Okay, but you tell me.
No, that sounds good. So shadow is 2. Okay, here we go. Okay. So that gives me a 3, and then the challenge dice are 1 and 7.
Okay. So we've got an interesting situation here because you have a weak hit, which is not bad. You do have 8 momentum, so you could burn that because that 8 is higher than the 7, which is your highest challenge dice. So you could burn that to turn it into a strong hit if you would like. It's kind of up to you on whether or not you want one of, because with secure an advantage, you either get 2 benefits or 1 benefit. on a hit. So,
but I also have the +1 on from my next move, right?
ooh, yes.
Well, which doesn't give me anywhere near near what I need, so that's all right.
But it was a nice try. It was good to remember that.
So that gives me a 4 then, but still not enough.
Still not enough.
Okay, actually, I'm going to hold off on the momentum for right now and just take the weak hit.
Cool. Would you like then 2 more momentum for your trouble to take you up to 10, or do you want +1 on your next move? And I'm pretty sure the next move is going to be face danger as we try to run from this thing.
Right. So I am going to actually I'll take the +2 momentum.
Okay, perfect. So that'll take you up to 10. And this is the trick. This is also the tricky thing with Ironsworn is, as you note, the momentum track goes up to 10. Your challenge dice go up to 10, and you must exceed
yes
the challenge dice.
But also momentum. Anything I roll is going to be at least a +1.
Yes, but you also cannot exceed a 10 on your roll.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah. So the score doesn't get added into the momentum. It's just gotcha.
Yep. So
I see the problem now.
Yes. So I had a situation last game where I rolled a 6 on my challenge or my action die, and I had a +5 because I was using my sorcerer asset, and I rolled a 10 on one of the challenge dice, so I still only got a weak hit out of that.
Yeah.
Ironsworn is a game that is at times it makes you want to cry and curl up into a ball. Mm. But here we are. You've kind of given us this moment to run. So I think we should face danger. I think we can probably just do it kind of as a group roll. So I don't know if you want to trust me with that roll, or if you would like to take kind of the lead on running away from this moment.
Run away. Yes, as bold Sir Robin once said, run away. Yep. I can, I'm fine if you want me to roll. That's cool.
I do want you to roll, but also before you do that, I am going to use my sorcerer asset and try to aid you in this. And I'm going to kind of wrap into this narratively one of my other assets, which is Firebrand. And I'm going to call up some flame, and I'm going to try and like fling it past you to strike at this ethereal figure as we run. And I'm going to attempt to secure an advantage plus my Spirit of 5. It's an 8 on the action score against 2 1s. That's another match, but this time it's an opportunity. So I think I succeed, which means you are going to take both of the benefits, which is +2 momentum, which you can't take any more momentum, but you do get +1 to your face danger move to help us get out of here.
Okay.
And I think the opportunity, we should just bank that until we've escaped this, and maybe we have garnered some insight into our search here.
All right.
So you can choose any of your stats. It just kind of depends on how you are overcoming this risky situation.
Well, the first one that popped out to me is with speed, mobility, or agility.
Perfect.
We are going to boom out of here.
We're running away.
Yes. All right. So that is plus edge. So +3 plus the 1 for the momentum. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sorry, not momentum, but the
the secure and advantage.
Secure and advantage. Okay, so this is going to be +4. Ooh. Okay. So that gives me an 8, but the challenge die are 6 and 8.
Okay. So it's a weak hit, which means we are going to escape, but not without cost. So we have to make a suffer move, which is -1 to one of our tracks. So I think, we can really, we can put it to any of them that we want, the health, spirit, or supply, or momentum. You could lose a momentum as well as part of it. Personally, I'm going to take a hit to spirit because it's this sort of like ethereal, magical creature that we are tangling with and trying to escape from.
Okay. And this is for both of us?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm going to take the hit, I think, to momentum because we were doing so well.
Yes.
We were going through, there was nothing was going to stop us until something stopped us.
Until something absolutely stopped us. Okay. Well, that was a very unsuccessful exploring a waypoint, but I think we did learn something, and
there's no way that butterfly is natural.
I agree. It was a summons of great power.
I guess that means we're closer than we were.
Agreed. So, Overwhelm War is the action and theme that I just rolled up for that little like flash of insight. Does that jog anything for you?
Actually, it does bring to mind some kind of guardian that must be, you have to get past somehow in order to progress to the next thing. Like, in order to get into the cave, maybe there's some kind of guardian that has to either be tricked or fought or somehow gotten past.
Amazing. I love it. And maybe it's that butterfly. Like maybe we will see it again.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But I'm going to mark another box of progress because I feel like we have learned another thing on our journey here. And I think we should go ahead and roll plus edge again to continue our expedition.
All right. There we go. So that gives a 9 versus a 5 and a 7.
Beautiful. We are marking progress. So that's 3 more boxes of progress on our journey. We reach another waypoint, and I'm going to go ahead and let you roll this time. But also, I'm going to roll. I'll roll percentile. I'm going to roll a green die. And because we haven't used this yet, and that is in Sundered Isles, there is an option to add an additional D10 when you roll percentile on an oracle. And if that D10 comes up as a 10, it is a cursed result. Now, my friends and I have been playing where if it's basically odds, if it comes up as odds, then it's a cursed result. So it's like a 50-50 shot of rolling on the cursed table. So okay. I'm gonna roll this. You roll the percentiles, and we'll see what we get.
Okay. All right. So I have a 29.
Okay. And I unfortunately rolled a 6, which is not cursed. So we come across a fallen tree that spans a ravine. That's our waypoint. And I think this is another one of these markers on the map. And I don't think it's difficult for us to cross, but there's definitely this ravine that we cross over. There are sounds coming from it that are unnatural and eerie as we are progressing forward.
Oh, that can't be good.
I feel like I've heard that in a tavern before. Let's continue our expedition here. I think one more roll. Hopefully, we will get there.
Okay. Is this the waypoint again?
So we're not going to explore this waypoint. We're just going to keep going.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So just roll the plus edge again as we are continuing to move at speed.
Okay.
Again, if we weren't under the clock, we could spend time luxuriating in this, in weaving a scene, but we got places to be.
Yep, that's true. Okay, so this is going to be another weak hit. So it's I got an 8, but the challenge dice are 2 and 8.
Okay, so we are going to mark 3 more boxes of progress, which takes us up to 9 out of 10. But we are going to, in this case, we could either suffer a cost en route or face a peril at the waypoint. I am just going to say that we suffer costs en route, and the age-old go-to when journeying is to just knock our supplies down a couple.
Okay.
Because, we're basically, spending some rations as we're walking, and we're just kind of drinking our water, and there may come a time where we need more of that. But we are approaching the end of our journey. So I think since you've been rolling on this, I would say please go ahead and roll. And this is our first progress move of the session. So a progress move is different from an action roll in that you do not roll your d6. You use the progress on your track as the result that you are comparing against the challenge dice. So you're just going to roll the 2d10s, and then you're hoping for less than 9.
Okay. Oh, no.
All right, here we go.
I rolled 2 9s.
Yep. Perfect. I think...
Why? We were doing so well, Dice.
We were doing so well. This is amazing because I think we know exactly what this means.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
We're going to encounter Rodrigo, right?
Of course. Because they didn't get sidetracked by the giant butterfly.
Exactly. So what does this look like as we're... well, actually, let's roll quick landmark here. Or do we think this is still jungle, or are we up in like the highlands now, or is it a lava field? Well, that sounds fun.
Oh, lava field sounds fun.
All right, so give us a D100 on the, and I will roll my curse die again and hope. Oops.
So I got a 50.
50, and I got a 7 on the curse die, which means it is cursed.
Ooh.
Field of cracked, partially solidified lava, and there is a large cairn built of skulls and bones off to one side.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, so we kind of emerge out of the jungle. We see this cairn, and I want to go so far as to say the skulls and bones, like that's the cairn, but it almost looks as though an entrance has been shaped out of them that descends down into the earth.
Okay.
And we emerge from the jungle, and we look across, and this larger figure with a big ass hammer and a crew of his own emerges out of the jungle, kind of an equidistance from us and the cairn, and we kind of see each other, and we see the cairn. What do we do?
Are our two groups just about equidistant?
Yes. Are we like charging towards each other to fight, or is this a race to see who can make it to the entrance first?
So the way I'm imagining it is that we just get out of the forested area, and we look to the side, and there's Rodrigo and his group, and he locks eyes with us. We lock eyes with him. We both turn to the cairn, and then we both look back at each other, and we just take off towards the cairn.
Awesome.
It's a race to get in there, and because I'm also kind of picturing that the cairn doesn't look 100% stable. So maybe if we can get in, whoever gets there first will probably be able to knock something off and kind of collapse it to delay the other group from getting in.
Also, there's enough kind of crew with us that it's like, it's a small enough entrance too, that even if they were able to like clear away the bones that we knocked down, you could kind of hold the entrance with just a few people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we should go ahead and roll a face danger to see if we can make it there first. And I'm going to let you roll with that sweet, sweet edge that you've got.
All right.
I'm going to let you work towards your strong points.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good God. All right. So that is 5 plus 3 is 8. Unfortunately, the dice, the challenge dice tell me 6 and 10. So it is a weak hit.
A weak hit. Okay. So it is a success. So we make it there first. but not without cost. We are going to make another suffer move here. I feel like
Ensign Yeoman. No.
exactly that crimson shirt of yours.
Yes. So what if, I'm going to toss this out there. What if the cairn is not as structurally weak as we had thought? And so we get in.
Yep.
But maybe Rodrigo and one or two of his people also get in.
Yeah. So it is like we make it in there, we clatter down, we're hacking away at the bones to try and kind of close it off behind us. And, maybe they like charge in, our two groups tussle for a moment. And in that confusion, like you and I just keep going. Our crew stays back to like hold the way. And, Rodrigo and one of his compatriots slips by, and then
he uses a hammer to collapse the cairn.
Ooh, yeah. So it's like we didn't even make it inside. Like, our two groups made it there at the same time. They started fighting. You and I slipped in to the cairn. We tried to collapse it, couldn't, and we're like, well, we just gotta go. And then Rodrigo and his guy comes in, collapses it. So now it's just us in here.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yep. Perfect. So I am actually going to, because we still need to take that -1 hit to something. And I feel like this is narratively appropriate because I have this crew commander asset, which I can suffer cost to command to turn a weak hit to a strong hit.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do that, but then like that essentially like is off the table now because we're separated from
the group.
The crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of a little squidgy because it's kind of like I'm turning it into a strong hit, which means theoretically we should succeed without any complications. But I kind of like it as this idea.
But yeah, to use that asset. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we are inside this cairn. We are going to mark another box of progress. We're still a little bit ahead, but I think we need to find, is there just one tunnel that leads deeper and deeper in here? Or is there, are there branching paths under this cairn of bones?
So I think once we get inside, I think it's more because there are obvious lava flows that we had seen. I think these are old lava tubes and pathways, so that it looks natural, but it also kind of winds, and you're not quite sure if something will just suddenly dead end. So it's almost like a maze down there until you find the opening that leads to somewhere else.
And I think because of that, we can take a moment to try and gather information, but I think that opens us up to the possibility of Rodrigo catching up to us, or we can just face danger and plunge into one of these tunnels and see where it takes us. What do you think we should do here?
The geologist in me wants to take our time and look around, but I think the Sarek in me is like, we just need to go.
We just need to go. It feels a little bit like we are, facing danger and we're moving at speed. And so I think we should continue to roll on that, but I'm actually going to probably regret this, but I'm going to roll myself as well, because I think there's a possibility that we become separated as we are like running through these tunnels.
Yeah. Okay. So we're both rolling?
Yep.
Okay.
Plus edge.
All right. So, I failed.
Oh, okay.
I got a 5 with the challenge dice being a 7 and a 10.
Okay. Is this the moment you would like to burn that 8 momentum?
You know what?
Momentum?
I am going to do that. I'm going to turn that into a 9, which gives me a weak hit.
Perfect. I also have a weak hit. I've got 3 on my action score. I've got a 5 and a 1 on the challenge dice. So we both succeed, but we both have to make suffer moves. And personally, I think that because these are old lava tubes, maybe there's a little bit of like ambient heat still in this depths of the earth. So I think it's becoming like oppressively hot down here.
Oh, sure.
So I'm going to take a hit to my health. What would you like to take a hit to?
Yeah, I think for this, I'm also going to do health. That
Okay.
seems to make the most sense to me.
Cool. All right. So we race through this tube and we'll give ourselves another box of progress. Go ahead and describe for me what this looks like as we're racing through these tunnels. And we can probably hear, Rodrigo and his compatriot behind us somewhere.
Behind us. And we would actually feel their breath if not for the oppressive heat. And it's weird because it's actually it's getting hotter and hotter, but it's also getting windier, if that makes sense, because the colder air outside is pulling all of this hot air kind of up through maybe some chimneys or some tubes that lead to the outside kind of above us. And so there's a breeze, but it's that hot breeze, and it just smells like sulfur.
Oof.
And it's terrible. So you're trying to breathe through your mouth, but you're getting little particles of something in your mouth, and Sarek is just like, I think I'm done with nature for a little while. I could really use a cool drink, which I am going to celebrate with as soon as we get to the sorceress.
I agree, my friend. This is ridiculous. He kind of looks around as they're running through these tunnels. And I think we spill out into this cavern. And I think Rodrigo and his compatriot are, hot on our heels.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, very much no pun intended. But we spill out into this cavern, and it's not a huge cavern, but there's enough room that there's a little bit of space to maneuver in. And I think we see that there is another tunnel kind of on the far side of this cavern, and there are stalactites hanging down from the cave roof. There's like little veins of probably what little lava kind of remains, and I think it's weird, right? Like it looks as though there's lava flowing through the walls, but it's very clearly like not spilling into this cavern.
Yeah, and I think it actually the little bit of lava that is in here is actually providing a tiny bit of light also.
Yes, yeah. Which is great because Caspian has been running around with like fire in his hand, just kind of like holding his hand up, trying to give us some light. And so it's nice to have some additional ambiance here. But I think more importantly, we see between us and that tunnel exit on the other side is this massive butterfly.
Oh.
And now we're standing in this cavern, breathing heavily with this sulfur smell in our nostrils and our mouths. Rodrigo and the other one spill out as well. And just like it was up on the surface, there's this moment where we like look at each other, and then we look at this butterfly, and then back at each other. And I think what we should do is we should enter the fray. And I think this is a 3-way combat.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think we have to fight the butterfly, but we also have to fight Rodrigo. But I think Rodrigo is also fighting the butterfly and us. So it's just like, it's chaos. So we are going to have to give each one a rank. So let's start with Rodrigo. Rodrigo and mate. I feel like they're probably just dangerous compared to the butterfly.
Yeah. I would agree.
Spectral butterfly is formidable. And here is how combat goes. It's very narrative, but we're going to roll this move, enter the fray, and that's going to determine our kind of starting spot in this battle. You've got essentially two positions. You can be in control or you are in a bad spot. When you are in control, you can take proactive actions, and that's you can strike at your foe or you can gain ground. If you are in a bad spot, then you are reactive and you can react under fire or you can clash.
Okay.
So we are both going to roll to enter the fray. And I think that Caspian is maybe, I don't know if this is going to work with the way that we've set this up, but I really want to use my duelist asset, which lets me enter the fray against a single worthy foe. But I'm not sure that we can do that because of the like fictional positioning that we've put ourselves in.
I see.
That I've put us in. So, I'm just going to say that I cannot do that because it's not like I can challenge Rodrigo to a duel and the butterfly's like, oh yes, I'll stand aside while you finish this duel between the two of you.
Or, I have that out of tune squeeze box. So if you want me to distract the butterfly while you enter a one-on-one duel with Rodrigo, I would be open to that as well.
I mean, can you distract the butterfly and fight off Rodrigo's friend at the same time?
Well, so just reading the enter the fray information there, I was thinking it would be the last one, like caught in a trap or sizing up the situation. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I was gonna try to do, and that's right. It would be me and then Rodrigo's person. So.
And the butterfly.
And the butterfly, yeah. But it's a role playing game, and
we're
this
heroes.
As we occasionally say on Reckless Attack, it's hero time.
It's hero time.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that in that case, I'm going to roll plus heart, and I am going to draw out my. I think I've got like a military saber. And kind of point it at the hammer wielding Rodrigo and, say, all right, you brigand, come here and face my steel. Let's see if I can back up those words. It's a weak hit. 7 on the action score, 4 and an 8 on the challenge dice. So I can choose to take +2 momentum or be in control. I am going to choose to be in control.
So is it one or the other? Either you are in control or you are essentially not?
Yes.
So there's no middle ground?
There is no middle ground.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I am... this is interesting. Okay, so if you set a new objective in a fight by challenging a worthy foe, take +2 momentum. I feel like I am dueling with Rodrigo. So I think I'm just going to change it to that duel with Rodrigo. I think we can just we know his friend is there, and we can work the friend into kind of the fiction. But okay. I don't know that we necessarily, he doesn't necessarily need his own progress track from Rodrigo. So I'm going to take 2 momentum for that asset. And also I forgot that I can re-roll any of the challenge dice. So because I had an 8 on one of those challenge dice, I'm going to re-roll that and see if I get a 6 or lower. A 3. So I get a strong hit.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. Which gives me another +2 momentum. So I'm suddenly at 8 momentum. I'm in control. Life is good. I'm faced off.
The tide has turned.
Indeed. All right. So you're sizing up the situation, plus wits. So what position are you in?
All right. Well, let's find out. Oh, that's oh boy. No. Oh boy. All right. So I got the second worst result I could possibly get.
Oh boy.
So I believe my wits is 2, which gives me a 4 on the die, but I rolled 2 10s.
Yeah. Nope. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are in a bad spot. That's just right off the bat.
Yeah,
there.
I'll accept that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And there's a big complication. So I think, if you'll allow me, I think maybe you pull out that squeeze box and you engage it to try and create a distraction. And there's something in the discordant melody of that squeeze box that draws the butterfly to you.
Because unknown to me, it is the mating call.
Yes. The spectral mating call.
Yes, and the spectral butterfly answers with a similar discordant squeeze box sound.
And then it just like flies at you.
Yeah, and Sarek is just going to be like, "Oh, this is no.
Yep. Okay, so I think that I'm just going to go straight for it. So I'll start off since I'm in control, but I'm going to charge in at Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo tries to close the distance between the two of us. Actually, no, it feels against the spirit of the moment to challenge someone to a duel and then immediately nuke them with a fireball. Although, I mean, Caspian is a pirate. I'm just so conflicted. I'm gonna strike with my sword. I can always nuke later.
Yes, true.
So this is gonna be plus iron, which is plus 2. Oh, okay. So that is a miss, which is not great. But I am going to burn my momentum because I have a 7 and a 10 on the challenge dice, and I have 8 momentum. So I'm going to take it to a weak hit. So I can mark progress twice, which is going to take us to 4 out of 10 boxes of progress on this duel with Rodrigo. But I expose myself to danger and I put myself in a bad spot. So I think what this looks like is Rodrigo comes charging in with this hammer, and Caspian is not particularly quick, but he also, I think, surprises Rodrigo by being stronger than he expected. And so as Rodrigo like swings the hammer down to crush him, Caspian kind of slams his blade into it and like redirects enough of the force that swings past him, and he cuts the blade up across the backs of Rodrigo's arms, and the hammer grunts in pain as this happens. But I think a bit of that hammer like still clips Caspian in the side, and it knocks him kind of off balance, and he is now in a bad spot. So we're in a bad spot together.
I'm also going to float this idea for you, is that when you deflect the hammer, it slams into the ground, and maybe the ground is not as solid as we had previously thought, and maybe it cracks a little bit, and you can see it like a little bit breaks away, but there is actual liquid lava underneath there that then kind of begins to seep up a little bit.
Yep, definitely. Yep, that's exactly what happens. Oh boy, that's could be real bad.
Yes.
You are, I think, facing this butterfly that is the spectral butterfly that charges in towards you. What are you doing? What's going on?
That's a good question. I would like to, and you'll have to let me know if this is too much for some minor magics. I would like to mimic that sound, but louder in an area that is not near me.
I love it. I think that's a great use.
I just have it sound like it comes from somewhere like either past me or to the side that that will draw the spectral butterfly that way.
I think that's amazing. So the sorcerer asset says when you secure an advantage or gain ground, which is very much a when you're in control situation, you can roll plus spirit. I think because you're reacting under fire here, you can definitely still like thematically do that, but you have to roll using your shadow.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I will begin to slide around and maneuver my impersonation of a dancing tree, and see if I can cause this music, such as it is, to appear from somewhere else.
Yes.
All right. So plus shadow is 2. Wow. All right. We got a little bit lucky on this one. So I rolled a 6. So that's an 8 total. The challenge dice are 6 and 7.
Whoo. Beautiful.
I'll take it.
Yep. So you're going to take a momentum. And I think like thematically, because you are using that sorcerer asset, even though it's not necessarily how it works in the asset, I feel like you can take that +1 momentum on a strong hit as well. So we'll take it up to 4 momentum there.
Okay.
And you are in control. So because you got a strong hit, that puts you in control at the moment. So I think the butterfly is distracted and pulls away. What do you want to do next? Because I think the initiative is still yours because you have that control.
Okay. Is the impression that I have that Caspian wants to continue to duel this person themselves?
Yeah, I think he is. It seems like he's like holding his own, and I think he's fine. I think yeah.
Okay. Then what I am going to do is try to maneuver in such a way that I can try to take out the mate, Rodrigo's first mate or whoever it is that came down with him. So I am going to use a bit more of the magics, and seeing that the ground seems to be not quite as stable as we had originally thought, I am going to try to crack some of the ground underneath this sailor and see if I can maybe get him to retreat a little bit with a little bit of splashed lava.
I love it. And since you're gaining ground now because you're in control, go ahead and roll plus your spirit, which is +5.
All right. Sounds good. So that is only a 6, but the challenge dice are 4 and 9. So it is a weak hit.
Okay. So weak hit, you are going to endure stress, which means you're going to take a hit to your spirit because it was a weak hit. But because it's gained ground on a weak hit, you can choose one of these. You can mark progress, you can take momentum, or you can take +1 on your next move.
I'm going to mark progress.
That is the right choice. I'm going to mark this towards the butterfly because I think what we're facing here is there's the duel with Rodrigo, and then there's the rest of the combat.
Right.
And since we don't have the other dude kind of with his own track, I'm just going to kind of lump him in with that formidable track. So
sure,
that's one box of progress on that. So I think it does. It like starts to bubble up a little bit as he kind of retreats from this lava, and you remain in control, which is very nice.
That's good.
Meanwhile, I am going to continue in this duel, and I am going to just clash. We're just going straight at it. So we're going to roll plus iron again on this as the two of us are in this dance of death. 7 on the action score, 6 and a 4 on the challenge dice for a strong hit.
Nice.
So back in control, we're going to mark progress twice on that. And Caspian is at 8 out of 10 on his duel. I am going to try to take decisive action. He gets in even closer to Rodrigo, not letting him swing his hammer, and a couple more cuts, and the enforcer of the awakened hammers kind of stumbles a little bit, and Caspian flicks some of the blood off his blade, lines up a strike, and goes in for the kill. I'm going to roll 2d10 versus my progress of 8. Oh, strong hit. 3 and 7.
Nice.
Take +1 momentum if any objectives remain and the fight continues. You are in control. This is great. So our momentum goes up to 3. Rodrigo is struck down. So Caspian I think he feints like he's going to slash, and Rodrigo brings up the hammer to block, and Caspian just stabs forward, and it's bad. There's blood everywhere. It's pretty rough. And
that's great. The ghoster fly is still here.
That's terrifying. And I almost wonder if seeing Rodrigo fall, his companion just turns and runs.
Yes, especially when you turn to face the companion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just flick a little bit more blood off and then turn to face him. So
the only thing that's missing is you saying hello. my name is Caspian Silva.
You killed my father. All right. So now it's just the two of us and a butterfly. It's great.
Which on the surface doesn't sound so bad.
No, it sounds great, actually. So I will cede control back to you as you are also in control. What would you like to do next?
So I think the next thing is that we need to stop this butterfly. And it being a spectral ghosty type thing, I would like to know if and you just have to let me know what I have to do or if this is possible. I'm guessing it's either it's wits or shadow is my guess. But I would like to determine if this spectral butterfly is being held here by some kind of spell or ritual, and if there is a way to disrupt that, to kind of dispel this spectral butterfly.
Yeah. I think so. It's going to be gain ground, and I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be wits because you're studying the situation.
All right, then I'm going to attempt to gain ground. Okay, so that a 6 on the die, so that's 8. And unfortunately, that I have rolled a 7 and an 8 on the. So it's a weak hit.
Okay. So once again, you can choose one. You can mark progress, take momentum, or add +1 to your next move.
I'm going to mark progress once again.
That is, again, the right choice. So I think, actually, we have not... we have played almost 2 hours of Ironsworn, and we have not rolled a single time asking the Oracle a yes-no question. So we should probably do that right now.
All right.
Is this creature being held here? Do you think it is, there's a small chance? Do you think it is unlikely? Do you think it is 50-50? Do you think it's likely? Do you think it is almost a sure thing?
You mean that the Oracle will answer, or that the answer to the question is yes?
That the answer to the question is yes.
Given it is a spectral butterfly on a lonely island, I'm going to say that it was almost definitely summoned here. And is being held here.
Okay, so roll percentile. 90 or less is a yes to that question. So if you get 91 or higher, it's a no, and that's interesting.
Okay, well, let's see what we get. 40 even.
Okay, so yes, it is definitely you gain this flash of insight. Maybe because I just love going back to this well. maybe you for a moment see these like tendrils of mystical power, almost like a marionette, attached to this creature. And it's just like this flash of insight that you have.
Okay.
So you see that as you're kind of gaining this insight, Caspian like steps up beside you and just chucks some fire at this thing. So I am going to use my firebrand asset, and I'm going to strike. When you make moves aided by this energy to attack or overcome obstacles, add +2 and suffer -1 fire. So I am going to roll +2, and I think this is probably plus edge because I'm attacking at a distance. So it'll be a +3 total on this roll as I unleash some fire. Okay. It is an 8 on the action score, a 9 and a 2 on the challenge dice. So it is a weak hit, which means we're going to mark progress twice, which is take us to 4 out of 10 progress. But I put myself in danger, in a bad spot. And I have an idea for this, which is I think there's a magical resonance in this chamber. And, you know, when you're doing like these sort of minor tricks that you've been doing, it doesn't really kind of ping that. But chucking a big old fireball across the room, I think there's almost a like a feedback that comes through, and Caspian is like picked up off his feet and thrown back against the wall.
Oh, okay.
And he just kind of like hits and he's like, oh, what in the... And just kind of like, you know, he doesn't quite like collapse into a heap, but he just kind of like falls back to his feet and like hero lands, and is a little shaken. And I think the butterfly kind of sweeps across at him. But you are still in control. So what would you like to do?
I would like to try to disrupt or dispel whatever is holding this butterfly spirit here.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds, it sounds like you're gaining ground again, which I think means you can roll that spirit as the sorcerer asset.
Okay. And it's the reduced, right? So it's +4?
+4, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, nice. Okay, so a 7 on the action die, and the challenge dice are 2 and 4. So it is a strong hit.
Awesome. So obviously we're going to mark progress.
Yes.
And then we are also, you can take +2 momentum, or you can take +1 on your next move.
I'm going to take the 2 momentum, I think. I'm going
to
try to gather that up so that I can maybe use that.
Yeah. And you get an additional +1 because you got a strong hit with that sorcerer asset. Here is the question for you, Steve. We are at 5 out of 10 progress on this. You have taken what seems a little bit like a decisive action to try and dispel this creature.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah.
The great thing about Ironsworn is that you can roll your progress move at any time. You don't have to get to a certain amount of progress before you roll. It's just numbers. And so the conventional wisdom is, 6 gives you a pretty good, 6 boxes of progress gives you a pretty good chance of getting at least a weak hit on 2d10. And we're at 5 progress. Yeah. But I feel like you took that decisive action.
It's there, isn't it? It's calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we'll see if this actually disrupts it. So this is going to be the same roll, but just +5.
Yep. So you're just rolling the 2d10s.
Oh, 2d10. Right.
And you want to get 4 or less.
Okay. I've got a 4 and a 5.
Okay. We'll take a weak hit. All right. So you achieve your objective, but not without cost. Roll on the table below or choose one. So go ahead and give me another percentile roll.
Okay. Oh boy. That is a 97.
97. Okay. Oh, perfect. It gets complicated. The true nature of a foe or objective is revealed. I think I know what it is, but are you thinking the same thing that I'm thinking?
I don't know. Are we thinking that this is actually the sorceress?
Yes.
Yep. All right. I'm also thinking that now maybe she died in the little area with all of the butterflies, and yeah. Yep.
So I think, and maybe because of that, because we did get a success here, maybe because of that, you don't fully dispel. Maybe you dispel the illusion. Or like you dispel whatever power was holding her, maybe in a way captive, in this butterfly form. So like maybe that form like falls away and the visage of this ancient sorceress, still spectral, is kind of floating there before us. Maybe still has those like butterfly wings.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're facing this sorceress, and I think like her eyes open and she sees the two of us. And I have given us another box of progress. I gave us a box of progress for defeating Rodrigo, and I gave us a box of progress for completing that part of the battle. So we are at 7 out of 10 on our vow, and it feels like this is the time to fulfill our vow, and how the challenge dice fall is going to determine how these next few moments go for us. So I'm going to have you roll those 2d10s again, and we are looking for 6 or less.
All right, here we go. Moment of truth. I got a 7 and an 8.
Oh, okay. It is a miss. Your vow is undone through an unexpected complication or realization. Envision what happens and choose one. Well, we don't have time to recommit. And so I guess in a way we are going to forsake our vow and give up on the quest. So Steve, take us out of here. What happens that undoes this moment and this quest that we've been on to find this sorcerer ends in failure for us?
So we were coming here for some kind of answer as to what is going on with magic. And when the illusion drops away of this butterfly, revealing the sorceress kind of like floating above us with the wings slowly flapping, there's a moment of clarity in the sorceress's eyes. And we step up and we ask our question, like, what is going on with all of the turmoil with the magic? And the response is, there's nothing you can do about it. It is happening. There is no stopping it. And there is absolutely nothing that can be done about it. And with that, she just kind of fades away.
And we are left in this cavern, bruised, battered, and I think
burned. Yeah.
Caspian
all
looks,
the bees. All the bees.
Butterflied. Caspian looks over at you and says, "Well, that was a dead end, but perhaps this isn't the end of this challenge. Perhaps there is something still to be done."
Indeed. I believe soaking in a nice cool tub for a day or two will bring some clarity. But I was hoping this would end differently.
As was I. And then I think we fade to black.
Yes.
And that is the end of our session. Steve, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh my God, this was so much fun. I got to tell you, I had a blast.
Good.
Thank you for
glad.
inviting me to do this.
Absolutely. It was an absolute pleasure. And please tell the wonderful people out there about where they can find you and the other lovely folks on Reckless Attack.
Yes, we are on Reckless Attack, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. We have episodes that come out basically twice a month, so you can find us anywhere, any of your pod catchers that you use. You can find us there at Reckless Attack or at recklessattack.com.
Perfect. All right. Once again, Steve, thank you so much. And to all of you out there, I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Errant Adventures. If you enjoyed the show, please spread the word. And if you want to support the show directly, leave me a review or support me on Patreon at patreon.com/errantadventures. You can also buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/errantadventures. If you want to interact with me, my handle on all the socials is @errantsolopod, or you can email me at errantsolopod@gmail.com. I also post short fiction and campaign-related materials on my website, errantadventurespod.com. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the deep, liars.